what I've really started to see and discover is how patterns move on like a macro level. So how the market changes and how patterns change with the overall market on a macro level. And I think we've been kind of discussing it on and off, but a lot of these stocks aren't breaking down. Amateurs take profits too soon and they don't cut the losses quick enough, right?
Yep.
Professionals let the winners run, they cut the losses tight. But in this market, it's almost like it doesn't pay as well to let you winners run because the market's kind of changed. And the reason that's kind of happening, I think, and you can add in, but because there's not enough players, so longs are looking to dip by whatever, and some of them are coming back. But it's just fascinating how the market changes based on busyness, volatility, circumstances.
Welcome back to the SteadyTrade podcast, everyone. I am Tim Bohen, back with Kim and Steven. Forget what I said about the aliens. If that made it in the recording, that was all. I'm allegedly, I have inside information on the aliens, but that's all.
Did you hear what came out about the UFOs the other day on 60 Minutes? That was intense, man.
Well, you're not falling for it, are you? Well, wait. We need to talk trading. We'll save that for the Tim Bohen Bigfoot podcast. So, anyway, welcome back, everyone. Got the whole team back together today. No guest, no necessary. We don't have a specific topic, but I think these are a lot of the most fun episodes and a little more topical. A lot going on. We're getting back to some of the things I had for today. Again, as a jaded old man, we're getting back to a little bit of normalcy. I think, we're recording the middle of May. It feels now, who knows what'll happen tomorrow. Maybe, again, maybe the aliens will come back and we'll be trading alien stocks, penny stocks, who knows? But as of right now, it feels like a little bit back to normal, which I am appreciating. And I've talked about this on the podcast a few times. 2020, and I feel like I got to give the disclaimer. It was a bad year for a lot of different reasons, but from a trading perspective, it was incredible. It was incredible. The opportunity. I mean, you look at so many of these people that we've had on the podcast that just completely crushed it. And, I've told the story of last summer. I mean, I felt like, I don't even remember last summer. It's like a blur because I barely left the house, sat at this computer 18 hours a day. It was absolute madness. It almost feels like it didn't even happen because it was just all nonstop every day. So that being said, feels like we're getting back to a little bit of normalcy, which I think is good. I think 2020 bred a little bit of bad habits for a lot of people. A lot of bag holders got saved. Other things to talk about, that we're in the middle, it's May 19th. We got the bounce right now, but epic crypto crash this morning. Markets feel like they're shifting a little bit. So plenty to talk about. So welcome back, Kim. Welcome back, Steven.
Well, thanks for having us. You know what I wanted to say when you were talking about that past year was it's like a fever dream.
It is, yeah, good, yeah.
Right? Like almost like, was it hallucination or you just all caught up in the fever? But maybe everybody was. The whole mood was like feverish.
Literally, and again, I loved it. It was an amazing year, but it's just like, what I was getting at is it was almost like every day was the same. It was like a Groundhog Day thing.
Yeah.
And I would even joke, on those pre-market prep, I talked about the drinking game where, the coffee drinking game where I was like, too many stocks and too much. I'd say that like and I'm like, I would joke. I'm like, I need to quit starting with that, but it's true. It's just like, and I do them at 8:30 and, all these press releases dropping. And it's like, I had 10 stocks to talk about. Here's 5 more. And it was just like, Every day was just a repeat of that forever. It's so.
It's like
Yeah,
the
I
Cher,
mean-
Sonny and Cher song that comes on the radio on Groundhog Day.
Yep.
I mean, in some regards, I think the market madness was almost a savior of lockdown, because it was like something to do for like 10 hours a day. Just, all right, sweet, there's loads of opportunities, let's grind. And for longs more than for shorts, for longs, it was literally heaven on earth. For shorts, it's a bit more dangerous, but still heaven on earth because there's plays every day, but dangerous. I mean, that long period,
that's actually a great point, man. Because I talk all the times about, I call it the dark days of day trading, which was roughly, that 2013 to 2014 area, where just, it was, drudgery, just, waiting and waiting and waiting. And man, if 2020 trading wise was like that, meanwhile, you couldn't travel anywhere. You couldn't go out to eat. Yeah. As much as I joke about, redoing The Shining, it probably actually would have been like that in the Bohen household. If I was sitting here in 2020 with 0 plays for 3 days and then one stock up, 14%, on the day, it probably would have been like The Shining over here. So.
But I mean, what I really find beautiful though is what I've really started to see and discover is how patterns move on like a macro level. So how the market changes and how patterns change with the overall market on a macro level. And I think we've been kind of discussing it on and off, but a lot of these stocks aren't breaking down. Well, normally you'd play the big picture. The amateurs take profits too soon and they don't cut the losses quick enough, right?
Yep.
Professionals let the winners run, they cut the losses tight. But in this market, it's almost like it doesn't pay as well to let you winners run, because the market's kind of changed. And the reason that's kind of happening, I think, and you can add in, but it's because there's not enough players, so longs are looking to dip by whatever, and some of them are coming back. But it's just fascinating how the market changes based on busyness, volatility, circumstances.
Well, and we were, speaking of changes, we were talking about, before we started recording, not about the aliens. Remember, strike that from your memory. It's like Men in Black with that. I need that. Where's my Sharpie?
Delete.
But,
me camera just flashed to the right light. What we're talking about? Me camera just flashed.
We were talking about a couple of the stocks you shorted this morning, and you did well. But here we are, we're recording at 2 p.m, and here they are, both of them. Well, 2 out of 3 are grinding back. They're close to green on the day. And what we were talking about is I talked about 2007 to 2013. There was like that. My first 6-7 years, that just didn't happen. I mean, I draw, you've probably seen me draw this on the webinars. I draw that penny stock pattern, as we call it. And it's a pyramid, a straight pyramid. And then I always draw 1 to 3 days at the bottom. And that was every penny. I mean, air quotes every, but 99% of penny stocks for those first 6 years, they would spike and all die over 1 to 3 days. You had to be careful day one, be careful with your size. Don't get too aggressive early, but day 2, day 3, you just hammer them. They'd all fade in the afternoon and gap down. And that's what's different still today is, when you take those morning runners and you get that washout, man, you bank those profits or else you end up regretting it in the afternoon.
But it's so weird though, because normally you would let the big picture work out. Normally you'd say fundamentally the stock's up 3 days. It's a piece of shit. It's got to crash. I'm going to ride out the swings and let the play work out. But for whatever reason, they're all coming back. And it's, but was it Ogen was an interesting one, because Ogen was like a piece of shit that should have never ran. Was it Ogen? But it had the Nasdaq compliance, and that's something to educate people about. They'll not know it.
Yep.
ONTX.
One from yesterday and today. ONTX. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Went from, so it was at 50 cents, 60 cents. And it's been gapping up and holding and gapping up and holding, even though its daily chart is terrible. And you're like, how is this piece of trash continuously holding its highs? And why is, and this is where it comes to being a scientist, why is this pattern this version of this pattern working when every other version of this pattern fails? There's always an anomaly. You can always find the reason if you dig into research. Not much is pure chance and pure luck in the market.
What's the answer to that?
The answer is in the SEC filings, the SEC regulatory body said you do no longer comply to be on the Nasdaq listings because you don't fit one of the main criteria. And one of the main criteria is your stock price is under $1. If you don't get your price over $1, you no longer comply with the listings to be on the Nasdaq registered. And if they're not on the Nasdaq, they're not surviving as a company. They need the Nasdaq to dilute the shares to raise more money. So what happens? Somehow, don't know what's going on. Somehow, the price keeps on going up against all odds. I don't know how that happens. I can guess.
Aliens, perhaps? Bigfoot?
But like somehow everyone thought this company is somehow a good company. No one paid anyone.
Is it the market makers?
No one paid anyone.
JJ
I don't know.
Talked about?
It probably is JJ. Probably is JJ.
It probably is.
Doing it.
Exactly.
Not JJ more.
So what happens? They buy up the floats. They nudge it up. They might break it down a little bit in the afternoon, get some shorts in, get some shorts to do some of the heavy lifting, panic it out in the afternoon. All of a sudden, after hours, rips up on light volume, hits the next high. Then shorts are trapped and buried on a setup that should have worked. What happens at the open the next day? Stocks holding. Why isn't it holding? Probably because the market maker's sitting on a bid with enormous size. Then what happens? Shorts get squeezed. It's not dropping. All the shorts are on top of each other. Then you hit your dollar, you regain the compliance with Nasdaq, and then boom, you're back to 50 cents. They've got another year maybe before they have to comply again.
Wow.
Yeah, but the short answer, Kim, is yes.
Wow.
It's they. It's somebody. You know, it's probably some of JJ. I mean, obviously JJ doesn't do it anymore, but it's some of his buddies. You know that got paid. You know, and again, allegedly, you know, anyone at ONTX don't come knocking on my door. but we are speculating that perhaps somebody is compensated, you know, to move this stock around, and market makers have that ability. And real quick, to somebody that maybe this is their first episode, check out. I mean, again, the very first episode with JJ out of 200 and some episodes, it's my number one. I think it is
200.
Yep. I think it was my favorite. And I think I think all the episodes are great. They're like my children. I love them all. But when you talk about like one, just like eye opener, if you're like, what's going on with penny stocks? Why do they go 1,000%? And, you know, on dubious news and all that one episode, you know, the hour and a half or whatever it is gold. So anyway, go back and check it out. You can Google or go to the SteadyTrade.com. I can't remember. It's like 1.7.
I'm trying to get the number now. Okay. 187 is when he returned. Okay. And that was 3 months ago. But then before that, it was, I'll get the number, but I have a question for both of you. Is it possible that what we're also seeing now is because we are going back to normal, because people are going back to their lives that now are different and opening up? Like, is it possible there's just less day traders as well?
Can I just answer quickly? I think there's always calm after every storm, and I can leave it. Leave it. Just it explains it. There's always a calm after a big storm, and we survived a big storm. Many thrived, some survived, but we're in the calm for me. But Tim?
You know, I think ultimately, this. I mean, look at today. Crypto. I mean, listen. I think we are, so far from done with cryptocurrencies. And Bitcoin today. I mean, what did it do? It went from 2 days ago it was like at 50, dropped to 30 today, and it's already back to 40. So I mean, you're right. I mean, you get these panics, you get these manias, but long term. I think that, whether it be crypto or the overall markets, but we're going to hit these rocky areas where weird stuff happens, and then we return back to normal at some point. So,
episode 179.
Okay.
And currently we have almost 100,000 views, people, 4 months
Get
ago.
out of town. Is that
99,000 views.
Is that boosted? It's not even boosted.
No,
probably.
it's not
Not
even boosted.
It's
No.
just organically. So
No.
I'm literally famous on the internet now because of that. Sweet.
You're not officially famous.
100,000 views.
You're not officially famous to 100,000 views. So
That's
everyone
right.
out there,
So everybody watching this now, go watch 179.
and even if you've already watched it, just start it on like 60 computers in your house and let it go. Yeah.
I can't believe that did so well. It's amazing. I mean, but I'm not famous on the internet because I'm banned from the internet. Instagram banned us. They took us off.
I saw that. Speaking of which, I mean, yeah.
I got banned from Instagram.
How did that
literally
happen?
Banned. Well, my first thought was
how that happened, Kim.
saying provocative things to women.
Ever heard of sliding in the DMs, Kim? He's probably slid into he slides into my DMs. Trust me.
I slid into your cat's DMs.
The things I've seen at 3 a.m. UK time. Oh.
I made a remark about his cat, which was not PC. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what any other.
See what
way
he
to
said
say
about
it.
my cat, Kim?
No.
Yeah. He called my favorite cat. He called my favorite cat a homosexual. He did.
I had a bottle of wine and I just wrote, "That cat looks gay." And then I started saying "gay Spence" because his cat's name's Spencer. But I mean, he looks gay, and there's nothing wrong with being gay. It's 100% acceptable.
I didn't say there was anything wrong with it either. But I mean, come on.
No.
Wait, that's what got you banned from Instagram?
What kind of man gets? I reported him. I took it to the top.
You did not.
I'm personal friends with Joe Instagram. The founder, the CEO of Instagram. I called him up and I said, "Listen, this guy's coming at my cat. This is this is hate speech. This is unacceptable. Something needs to be done." So they banned it.
Oh
no, but
God, you are too
I mean, obviously that's not the truth, but I do not exist on Instagram right now. And when I checked the reason why, so first I got kicked off, and then I inquired why, and they come back to me saying that I was impersonating a famous person's account. Now, the truth is, someone impersonated my account and then reported me. Then reported me, and they got me kicked off Instagram, even though I'm the real.
Whoa, that is crazy.
Which happened to Huddy, Mike Huddy.
It happened to Huddy as well.
Yep. So, real quick aside to everyone out there listening, keep in mind this is rampant out there. Okay, so just listen. Anyone, okay, and whether it be me, Steven, Sykes, Huddy, Roland, Jack, Matt, none of us will ever randomly just reach out to you and ask, "How's your trading going?" We won't, because then what happens? They'll say, "How's your trading going?" And listen, most of you, you're listening to the podcast because you're learning this stuff. You're trying to, probably you're struggling. So then you're like, "Oh, things are going, okay or bad." Then they're like, "Hey, we want to help you, send us some money. We'll invest it for you." Then what they normally do, and this is good education for everyone out there.
It is.
How this works. So what they do, and this is just like standard con, and this has been, you've seen it in the movies, you've seen it in Lost, this is, what was the handsome bastard? The con man.
Oh,
Sawyer.
God, had such a crush on Sawyer.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
my God.
anyway, so what they do is they start out with say, "Hey, send me $1,000."
Yeah.
And then you send them $1,000, and then they wait a few days and they say, "Hey, I turned your 1,000 into $4,000. Why don't you, send me some real money and let's really make, so people have sent them $40,000, $50,000. Once you send them that, then they just ghost you. They take it and they go away." So we'll get back to Steven's story, but I mean, please just know, again, none of us, whether it be Kim, me, Steven, again, Matt, Jack, Kyle, Huddy, Sykes, Roland, no one will do that. None of us will do that. And just, do a little
And
due diligence, you know.
Can we make a request to Tim that people report? Like it's hard to do it, but report the people that are the fakes, because that gets them, you know, I know it's a vicious cycle and it's never going to end, but at least it saves a few people hopefully from being
so
scammed.
yeah, thank you for, if someone does that, block and report them. It helps, but it doesn't.
Yeah, no, but I mean, because if everyone blocks and reports them, it means that the other person has less chance of getting blocked and reported, because them scammers are all blocking and reporting you to get you kicked off. So they're the only profile. So there's only one Steven Johnson on Instagram now, and it's a fake version of me.
So like what happens, Kim, people will send me these and I'm always blocked. See, what they do is they have all their bots, and all their bots are blocking and reporting me or blocking and reporting Steven.
Crazy.
Yep.
So like every time someone sends me, you know, it'll be like T_C_Bohen. It always says, you know, you're blocked, because they're doing the same thing. So
totally.
Again,
I do it a lot. I block and report a lot. I get almost every day. I get 3 to 5 of everybody we've just spoken to who are. Once I see them follow and I see like some, hey, how are you doing? I'm like, oh my God, here we go again. But wait a minute, we got to get you back on Instagram, Steven. And now you can't come into my Instagram lives if you're not on Instagram.
I can't. Honestly, it was all fun and games until I lost Instagram. It was like I was messaging the con people. I was sending them pictures. I was trying to talk to them. I was being like, dude, are you me, or am I me, or are we in a parallel universe? Like, I was hitting them up saying crazy shit. And it was all fun and games until I lost Instagram, and now it's not funny anymore. Now I've personally been affected.
Can I help you get back on Instagram? What can we do? Bowen and I.
No, I've sent me. I think what you need to do is if you can just send us $1,000 to my Hotmail.
That's funny. So yeah, everyone out there. So the moral of the story is, in order to get Steven's account, everyone send $1,000 to Steven. And joking.
You just send it to me PayPal. You'll get it back. But if you just give us the first 1,000,
you'll get it back tenfold.
Aye. What I'll do is I'll double it. I've got a new investment.
You know?
Oh, you got, please, people, they are kidding. This is called sarcasm. Sarcasm.
This will be one of those selective quotes that they cut out. Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, and what the most frustrating thing to me is, is they could fix this if they wanted to. This will probably get, they'll probably broom my account. And listen, as always, I feel like I have to give a disclaimer. But you can make a story joking about like coronavirus or the election, hot button issues, verbally. Okay, you could be like, ha ha, election, ha ha, coronavirus. And within seconds, that's flagged with that little, fact check thing.
For sure.
So you're telling me the AI can do that, but the AI can't tell that, Steven_J_97 isn't actually Steven Johnson. So that's the biggest, the most frustrating thing about this whole situation is they could fix it if they want to. If they can do that, or you play a song, I play a Metallica song. I've had like the radio in the background on a story and it gets taken down in seconds because of copyright, but you can't figure this out. So,
but honestly though, like if there's 2 profiles with the same names and the same pictures, all you have to do is say, well, who uploaded the picture first?
Yeah.
And you know who the fake is?
Yeah. Like, very good point. Yeah. Very good point.
So stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, so you're telling me you can't program that shows that a picture of Steven from 4 years ago was uploaded in 2017. Meanwhile, this picture was uploaded yesterday. His entire profile.
So everybody should go
uploaded yesterday.
This account and block and report it. I just did that for you, Steven. This is the 104K on Instagram of that fake Steven Johnson.
You got 100,000 followers. Dang.
Mustn't be real because I'm never going to be that popular. But what's the what's the handle?
It's the handle is STEPHENJONKS 87.
Stephen Jonks,
Jonks 87.
Yeah, so the S is where it's fake. I'm just drunk 87.
Yep. So hopefully everybody will go in and plow reports on that account. And then I hope that they will let you open your account again.
See, and here's now again, you can call me this is the old school short seller in Tim coming out. It's just and obviously because I see it every day, it's just whack-a-mole. So I have an assistant, Amy, that I mean, this is all she does. She does it for me. She does it for sites, reporting these accounts. That is her job. Okay. Wow. And I'll get, she'll forward me. I'll get 20 of them taken down in one day, but then there'll be 20 more the next day.
Yeah.
So again, please, that, especially that account of Stevens that, not Stevens, that impersonator with 100, get that one taken down. But
for sure.
But can I just ask you guys what you think of the market right now? Because it's pretty quiet. But do you know what it is, though? The market's dead quiet, right? But I'm having a pretty decent month because as a short seller, there's not much danger. There's plays, there's shorts. I can take them. Not many, but I can take them. But there's not a lot of danger in the market. Or I'm just not stupid enough after maybe I finally learned. Because ONTX or whatever it was, that could have been a terrible loss. But I mean, I put a high day.
My thing is, again, and this is kind of where we started is, I have no problem with this because, to me, it's more manageable. It's like, I don't, you've heard me say this, Stephen. I mean, it only takes one, and, it just takes one good setup a day, and I got no problem with the return to normalcy. Again, I got, especially for summer, listen, I live in the freaking Midwest. Once October rolls around, we can have 500 plays a day. It gets dark at 4 p.m. and there's 3 feet of snow anyway. But I would be happy to have one good play a day, and be able to read more than one book the entire freaking summer like last summer.
Have a life, have a life outside of just being in front of your laptop.
I think the last time it went really quiet, the last 2 times it went really quiet, there's always a ticker ignites it again. Mm-hmm. Was it SPI or PPSI that lit the market on fire?
I remember
after
that
a dry
episode.
period.
Yep.
One of the two. And was TCAT one as well?
Yeah, and even a couple weeks ago, remember BTX? BTX started.
I was long that thing up to the 80s. Didn't sell it.
Oh no!
No, I got stopped out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But that
you told us to sell. You even texted you kind man. Saying, Stephen, I know you're long this, but you should probably sell it. It's up a lot. And I was like, no, you texted us and told us you should probably sell this now. It's up a lot. And I says, no, I'm out in the pub with me friends. I don't care.
Right. Yeah, because
don't care about it.
Tell the whole story. I knew he was in it. I knew it was ripping. And then again, I see his Instagram story drinking, and I'm like, hey,
wake up.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, I get that it's afternoon, but I'm like, you need to pay attention.
That was so nice of you, Tim. That was so
he's
nice
out drinking.
You.
I'm like, oh God. I won't hear from him for 3 days now.
Sitting long in the most volatile, crazy. It's not a liquid. It was liquid as hell, but very low float.
Oh my God.
Very thin float is the best way to say.
Yeah,
I was just like,
I saw the drinking pics. I'm like, hey.
I was like,
listen to him
because I was like, I'm up 10%. It's Friday. This thing's going to the moon. I'm like, I'm going out with the pals. I'll come back on Monday and that thing's at 100, and I got stopped out. But I mean, honestly, I probably put it to $300.
But the funny thing is, it hit your stop. But that Monday, it did go wild. So
it did right. Go, yeah.
It went to 90.
But honestly, though, with a lot of these OTCs, like HTZGQ, which was HTZ before it got delisted for being bankrupt, down to the OTCs from the Nasdaq, I think it was.
Yep.
These OTCs like APLN, HTZBQ, there's a ton of them, not MMADF. That's a really strong mushroom psychedelic play. But a lot of these OTCs, when they crack ALPP, ALPN, HTCGQ, they go to the floor. So I'll have a joke with pals where I'll say, it would be better for me on this first red day to short it, put a stop in, get blind drunk, and wake up the next day, and I would make more money than if I sat and watched it, because they fall apart all day. And it was BTX the other way around. That's how I was thinking.
All right, so here's a question for those who don't like this quietness. What is it that you would say to them? Like, what's your advice, Tim and Stephen, to the people who are kind of freaking out? Maybe they've been trading.
Oh, I get it. I get it on the
year. What is it?
I get it on the webinars. People whining and crying.
Yeah. So what is the hard truth that they need to? I'm like, this is your opportunity to study. This is your opportunity to come up with another setup. This is your opportunity.
And I'll let Stephen go. But my thing is, I say take it. Ultimately, it's like I'm trying to think of some corny quote, but I don't think. I mean, take advantage of of these times to build better habits. Because it's like how I'm trying to again. It's like when you're in some sort of crisis, like I do firearms training and stuff like that. They always say if you're in some sort of crisis, like some active shooter, you're going to descend to the level of your training. Okay. So ultimately, and again, I know this might be a reach, but I was struggling, and this is, I'm sure I didn't take enough alpha brain evidently, but, but seriously, when you're in that active shooter, that, bad situation, you're going to descend to the level of training. And if you have no training, you're going to shit your pants. You're going to lose your composure. Bad things are going to happen. Where if you're prepared for a situation like that, if you're prepared for madness like 2020 from a trading level, and there's all this stuff going on and all these wild moves and BTX going from 2 to 90, you're going to descend to the level of your training. So that's it took me a while to get it out. Take advantage of these times to be more disciplined, to really go through that process and be like, okay, there is one stock today or two stocks up today. Mm-hmm. Let's really dig into these, spend the time and decide, are these good setups? And then when it comes back, which I think will come back, whether it be fall or whatever, when there are 10 or 20, you'll then descend to the level of your training there. I butchered it, but.
No, I can help you with that, because there's another analogy that I thought of as well. And it comes from, do you remember the White Rhino book? So the White Rhino, not the White Rhino, the author who wrote the White Rhino, and then she also wrote another book.
Yeah, Michelle Walker, who we just had
Michelle Walker, yeah.
It's the episode that just dropped yesterday. It's actually the gray Rhino.
The gray Rhino.
I was thinking of the pale white horse.
And her newest
Upon
book,
him rode death.
And her new book is called "You Are What You Risk."
So you are what you risk. It touches on Tim's point quite nicely, because when she's talking about risk, in the book, she's talking about if say Tim took too many alpha brain and he was driving his car really, really fast, thinking I'm unstoppable, the most likely thing that would happen is he'd probably crash his car. Right? Because he's not prepared for the situation. But if an F1 driver drove his car really fast, the chances are he's probably not going to crash, or there's way less likelihood of him crashing, because he's simply significantly more prepared than Tim on Alpha Brain.
Yep.
Even though Alpha Brain might aid the driving for a while, I don't know. We'd have to do an experiment, Tim. We can do that tonight. 100 miles an hour in the car, how many Alpha Brain till you crash? But that's a separate thing.
Do I have to drive one of those stupid cars with the steering wheel on the wrong side?
Just whatever's more dangerous.
Exactly. Oh, yes.
But the point is, Tim's point's absolutely right, and Tim Sykes says it all the time: study the market, study history. Like that's why the challenge is good and StocksToTrade Pro is good, is because you've got a back catalog of like 10 years of webinars, and the market's always running cycles and they'll always repeat. And like my biggest mistake of my trading career, one of them, if not the biggest, is not being prepared for the mania on the long side in November, December, and January and February. I was not prepared. I was struggling short. I was trying not to get stopped out. People who were clueless but had been studying longs for 6 months were killing it.
Yeah.
And I was like suffering through it.
Yeah.
I was like I made like $6,000 1 month, and I was just so relieved that I'd like not blown an account.
Wow.
And that's my biggest mistake, not being prepared for a really strong season of longs. And hey, guess what? Now I know how to long. Guess what? Right. Market's turned again. There's not as many opportunities. So, but I'm prepared for the next one. 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. I'm banking.
Yep.
I'm banking.
You will.
Got to be prepared.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's not hard to look at all webinars. You just sit there and stare at the screen. Like, it's not even that hard to do.
No.
Just got to do it.
Yep. So that's the opportunity people have now, is to just spend the time.
Right. You know, again, back to my point, you know, again, you know, and I always give that, you know, and I think I actually stole this from somebody, but, you know, again, you know, well, actually, Kim, I remember when I still remember introducing Kim to Tom Brady, you know, so, but, you know, you think about an NFL.
Only it was in person. It would have been much more memorable.
I would like to meet him in person too.
Was it like a Facebook invite, or was it?
No. But you know, we were talking about, you know, again, like an NFL quarterback. And I
know Tom Brady. Come on, guy. Come on.
You can look up the stats.
Tell us who he is. I know who he is.
You know, an NFL quarterback's like on the field like an hour, you know, and then like touching the football, it's like minutes.
Yeah.
But it's like, but that doesn't mean Tom Brady works an hour a week. You know, the reason he's Tom Brady is because of stuff he's doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I think if we enter that period of the summer, then I think summer, you know, should be your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Because again, it always gets busier in the fall. At least historically, in my 15 years, you know, August is always that slowest month because Europe goes on, you know, their month-long vacation. You know, you got the back to school, everyone's doing their last-minute vacations. You got Labor Day and stuff like that. Yeah. So I say, again, take advantage. I mean, I know everyone wants to make bank bro, but like Steven said, he's now much more prepared for when that cycle comes back. So
I just have to give one.
And I look forward, you know, I know I'm Mr. freaking Bull since this podcast has started, but I look forward to short selling again someday. I miss it. I miss it.
You're literally
I miss cackling like a demon when a stock drops 20% in the afternoon. I miss posting the memes, making fun of the stupid longs. Oh, true believers, idiots, morons. You know, I miss it.
Tim is like the Raging Bull 2, Raging Bull Part 2.
Agreed.
Like in color this time with Martin Scorsese. But I have to say, right, one more analogy about being prepared, which will stick with people. Mike Tyson walks into a room, massive title fight, knocks someone out. It's the 47 million punch. Say you made $47 million in that fight. You only worked 3 seconds. It was 47 million, one punch. You made 47 million through that punch. What they don't tell you is the 12 hours a day that he's been doing since he was 7.
Yep.
I was live at the McGregor Aldo fight, you know. My very first UFC, and Conor knocks him out in 13 seconds. I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even remember if I saw it. I think I was like looking down or something.
I don't remember. I know that fight, but I don't know who else was on the card. Do you remember who else was on the card with any of that or nah?
Oh, geez, that was 5 years ago. I don't, but I was there.
I know the fight.
And I tell you, you know, you talk about. I tell you, is exciting. Not to get too off topic, as exciting as it was to see that happen. Oh my! I mean, talk about a unique experience being in Vegas with freaking 200,000 crazy Irishmen, man. After that fight, whoa! I mean, talk about energy. I'm just like, I mean, they're everywhere, you know, jumping on tape. I mean, it's chaos.
Irish
nobody knows how to party like the Irish.
Especially after McGregor knocked. You know, this was. I mean, you know, such a. I mean, there was so much.
The peak of his stardom, but he was at the peak of his heights, though.
Long shot.
That was his first, but that was his first belt as well, I believe. Was his featherweight or lightweight title? But anyway,
I gotta admit, I'm not like hardcore UFC. I got invited to go to it, and
So
I just happened to be there. I'm not like hardcore in the UFC.
Just happened to be a Conor McGregor Aldo title fight. Just happened to be there. Like I would die for that.
That is such a great story, Tim.
But back to your point, I mean,
I missed it. You missed the 13 seconds after all that, and that's probably a little painful. But that's what trading is right now.
But look at the preparation. Back to your analogy that Conor puts in. So
yeah.
And here he's flat. He's flexing all the time with the cars and the jets, but it's like, yeah, whatever. But he's putting in the work, man.
Yeah.
And just the final thing about that is like Conor's got all these like iconic lines, like we're not here to take part, we're here to take over. And he's got like a ton of iconic lines that people know Conor by. And it's like, well, how do you think he comes up with them things? It's because he's thinking about this shit 24 hours a day. He's thinking about fighting. He's thinking about his career. He's thinking about how he's going to the next level 24/7. And then these moments of genius spark from, and that's the thing with creators, thinking about it on the toilet, thinking about it in the morning, thinking about it in the evening.
Don't you think too, he's watching history? Like who's the other one who had like the best quips ever? Muhammad Ali.
Well, Muhammad Ali was Muhammad Ali's the OG of shit talking, yeah.
Right. He just knew how to put those rhymes together. So in the game, I have no doubt this guy, he's watched Muhammad Ali and watched the flexing. Like if you don't know that history.
All comes down to being obsessive, being absolutely obsessed. When you're ingrained and obsessed in something, genius comes out because you start connecting loads of random dots together that people who haven't thought about it as much as you haven't connected. And then people think, I love the sound of that, but I don't know why, because it's pure passion coming through.
True. Authenticity. Yeah. It's pretty compelling.
And I think that is something that Stephen and I share, and hope we're trying to infect Kim, but I talk about it all the time. It's like nothing other than like, my family and like, again, I like reading and stuff, but it's like nothing is as interesting to me as trading in the markets. It's just like, I mean, it's like I used to watch sports until I got into trading. I could care less. I mean, like I said, I get invited to a UFC, I go, but I don't know who has the belts in the UFC. I can barely remember who won the Super Bowl. Well, I know it's Brady, but but it's like, I just don't, nothing else is that interesting. Nothing at all as trying is the operative word to beat the market. And it's just it's that constant evolution. It's never the same. It's always different. And that's the best part. Now it sucks sometimes when nothing seems to work, but cracking that code is what makes it so interesting.
Yep. If anything, see it as the opportunity. The market's giving you an opportunity for you to actually understand the depth and breadth of it, not just do, it's not going to do what you want. You might as well come to terms with that shit now. This is not what you want it to be, nor will it ever be. So how do you ride the wave that it is without arguing or bird dogging it? Like that bird should be a dog. You don't say that every day. So why are you going to say this market should be not what it is? It's like, where's that going to get you?
But I just say it as the ultimate you versus you battle. And I know it's cliche to say that, but I just feel like if I can overcome the market, I can overcome myself. Like if I overcome the market, I overcome me. Like that's how personal this battle is. Do you know what I mean?
Well, ultimately, and very well said, and ultimately the difference about, again, the difference between like Conor or Tyson, I mean, they're in the ring, they're making it happen. At the end of the day, ultimately it is all you against you, because that stock's going to do what it's going to do. You can believe in the secret. You can believe in crystals and patchouli oil. You can whatever God you pray to. He doesn't care what your penny stocks are doing. Okay,
he's not going to give you a big win.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like
so ultimately it's you against you, and most of the time it boils down to can you back to Kim's specialty. Can you come to grips with your ego and be like, listen, no matter what I say, no matter who I pray to, no matter what I do, I'm wrong right now, and I need to accept that. Or am I going to let this ruin me? Or ruin my account,
or ruin my mood, or just ruin my mood, or make you feel depressed, or like I don't know what to do here. It's like, well, start to learn what to do when the market is quiet, because that is part of its personality. It's going to have, just like people show up maybe different than you want them to, but we have to accept if we're fighting with reality. It's like, this is the reality. If you fight reality, who's crazy? Not reality.
Well said.
Yeah, you've got to live through it. But I mean, for me as well, though, like, no matter what goes wrong in my life, if I can just turn around and be like, yeah, but I took 90 grand out of the market off. Yeah, but took 100 grand out of the market. Or one day maybe say I took $1 million out of the market. Like, I mean, maybe that's very egoic, but like, it's like, it's just dead good. Like, it's like self-accomplishment, and it's not the money, it's the accomplishment. The money makes the accomplishment bigger. It's more of an achievement.
Of course.
It measures the achievement.
It does.
But it's just like, I am worthy. Do you know what I mean? You can think, I'm just a loser. No, I'm not. Pulled 90 grand out of the market. Losers don't do that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, for self-worth, it builds you.
But even if you don't pull that out, you're still worthy, Stephen.
We need to.
I'm not.
So
you're still worthy.
I'm just kidding. I know I'm worthy.
Kim, you'll remember this because we're the old ones. What's the Saturday? What was the Saturday Night Live?
Oh, it was Stan was, oh God, what was his name?
You know what I mean.
I'm worthy. Gosh darn it, I'm good enough. It was, what the hell is his name? He wore the sweater. He always wore the sweater. It was the guy who became the politician. Who became the politician?
Oh, was it Al Franken?
Yeah, it was Al Franken.
Was it?
Al Franken. Yep, with the sweater. And he would look in the mirror and say, I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And gosh darn it, people like me.
There, perfect ending. All right, thank you, Kim. Thank you, Stephen. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this episode. I mean, these are all, some of my favorites. You know, it's just kind of having fun talking trading. I mean, I think it's one of those. You know, we dropped a lot of the stuff. I mean, I think one of the biggest things is become obsessed and take advantage. And again, I mean, it's like, I feel like we've done, over the years, we've done this a couple times, and then the markets just snap back, and it's like, yeah, we had 2 slow days. But if it is slow, my point is, consider that training time, consider that the practice time, and, whatever. I mean, sports, I go back to those sports analogy, because ultimately it doesn't matter what the sport is. The time spent competing is, minuscule. If you're going to be really good, if you're going to be really successful, I don't care if it's football, basketball, fighting, lifting weights, running, whatever it is, the time spent doing it is minuscule to the time spent practicing, preparing, and getting ready for, the game. And that's, I think, take advantage of that, build your skills. And when the market shifts, you're listen, it's all about being one step ahead of the next guy or gal. So thank you, everyone. Head over to SteadyTrade.com for any of the links or references we make. Be sure to subscribe, share with your friends. Check out the episode with JJ. I mean, we joked about breaking 100,000, but I'm telling you, it's if you really want to know how the sausage gets made, it's a very interesting episode. And we'll see you next time on the Steady Trade Podcast.